As long as he doesn't die towards the creep, sort of fine. But adding pressure towards the mid, GH will claim that tier 1 tower.
Important that GH actually got an attack off there. That would have been a deny by FY. GH screws it. In on force staff. His go-to build on Romana this tournament has been force staff.
Here we go. Over on next number. Yara will be able to connect. Miracle was kind of already a pretty assured kill. The other Chronicles Kuro wasn't in range for the disruption.
That's kind of a low value chrono though, especially right for the bounty runes. LGD were ready for it. We even have chosen to try to fight here, but their heroes are not able to connect top in time. So they will get the 2 bottom runes, but.
Okay.
This and losing control of the area, they're just gonna leave it alone, keep pressuring bottom, see how much they can get.
Loving the way they approach the towers too. Xnova's like, I need to check the trees. Spirit in there every single time, making sure there's no hidden tinker, there's no heavy march machines, even a quick sentry ward being dropped down. No invis runes, no shenanigans. Kuro, Charles just jumps in. Mike Troll just gets the back line. The arrow flies forward. It won't hit onto the hero, however. This will be LGD under the tier 2 tower with the ET splitter killing off Mind Control. And they found Weeha in the tree line. Xnova, he's still staying close with the Stampede. They try and get closer. The face is void. They throw him back, at least get the one-man sub. But Miracle chasing down Xnova inside the trees. FY is nearby. He actually stole rearm out of all of this. And he'll just TP away to safety.
He can rearm and TP back out.
FY gets as close to Tinker as he possibly can.
Why is he not rearmed?
That's a very good question.
Maybe didn't think about it?
I was like, oh wait, does this work on TP scrolls? Yeah. Either way, LGD. That's the first real encounter we've had from the teams, apart from just these pickoffs moving from one lane to the other. Took about 16 minutes for it to happen, and the tier 2 tower almost died for it. But Liquid, it looks like they're ready to fight once more. Chronosphere is up, the Blink Dagger's on the Tiny for his initiation. Kuro also needs to get a ward mission out. He's got 5 Observer wards, just planted 1 down now. This is a full ward mission from Team Liquid.
And they're hoping to find a core as well. They might walk into army, they will.
Here we go, Avalanche toss to begin with, jumping forward with the Starfall, they have the damage. Spectral Halt was down, there was no escaping. Weeha moving into the tree line, away from Xnova's stomp.
Hasted and Moonlight Shadow, that's a really hard hero to kill, and he'll get out easily.
I love where they're waiting, like Charles and Xnova in the tree lines. They're sitting inside the trees where we've seen Weeha yesterday blink to move up the lane and get more March the Machines down the wave, but this time around, Weeha moves back to the mid lane.
These 2 kills on Spectre that Liquid have found are super important for them. Ame has... I think the second kill is more forgivable because there was an aggressive smoke into his supposedly safe part of the jungle. But the first one at the top tier 1 tower, I think he felt a little bit bad about that one because it was a relatively easy read mid lane.
Here we go again. Avalanche. He's going to be off target. Only drop charges from Somnus to trigger. He's going to use him to get aggressive on mind control. The homing missiles coming in as Weeha puts down the cover fire. If LGD want to come in, they're coming in. Double wave to March the Machines. Miracle. He has to time walk himself away. Defensive disruption. Kuro able to save him from the ET splitter while mind control gets up on the high ground. Removes that aggressive vision that FI was trying to get down, so LGD had some information for this fight. And they're ready to go again. Mind control. We have seen Tiny time and time again clear a wave, get that tossed back, and force whatever team into a horrible position for a fight.
And a rare miss from GH. If that arrow hits, that should just have been a flat-out kill on Gyro, but mistakes do happen.
It's like, I don't know exactly where Kuro is going to walk. It's like it was a toss back to a target.
Yeah. It's a little bit tricky to land these. Liquid have done an excellent job lately in the lower bracket with hitting difficult spell combos and having really good timing with, for example, their Darkseers. But that one did not work out. There's more and more time being bought for this Spectre. You have to remember this is a Spectre that went Midas first item. So even though Spectre is this almost 2,000 gold behind Void, net worth on Spectre is insanely valuable. If you get later on in the game and he's still 2k behind the Void in 5 or 10 minutes, this gold just transforms into so much damage and tankability in the fights. And vision even, with the Haunt.
Charles has claimed the tier 2 tower on bottom lane. Liquid As you said, like, there's a lot of time wasted by LGD looking for these fights from Liquid. They're actually looking at Mind Control, who grabbed the Invis rune, so FY was just stalking him in the mid lane, but it never came. And what happened? Once again, Centaur, not part of a team fight. He's down on the bottom lane, pushing it out, at least claiming the gold, and this will allow also the bounty runes to go a 2-2 split. Centaur's getting bigger and bigger. Now, Vanguard completed, already got the pipe, and the Crimson's on its way.
They're going to smoke out. S3 behind Somnus, looks like trying to set up a bait. He's going to run up to the high ground and get caught on purpose, but...
Well, Avalanche toss actually sending him back inside the banishment. Not exactly what they wanted, but the 5-second arrow will connect on Somnus. But this just allows Liquid to disengage, or does it? Stampede forward, Moonlight Shadow now burned by Team Liquid. As they turn around to come back once more, Miracle adds Chronosphere up. And they're looking for a target. They find the other Titan, purge him up with the time locks. My lord, that damage. They didn't have to burn the Chronosphere, but Mind Control, Avalanche toss, FY too far away, he's actually all the time on Miracle! He gets a double Chronosphere, Charles and Rubik both caught in it. Sometimes needs to create a little bit more space with the call out, he might be able to do so. Miracle, time walks back up, cooldown once again. Spectral Horn jumping around, who's he focusing on? He looked for his target, but the time walk away, got Miracle way to safety, but Somnus can at least reach over towards Kuro with their flat cannon. Arrow, Charles, he doesn't care. Walk straight in front of him. But LGD, commitment did come in from Rubik to buy back for that fight.
Yep. I think you're pretty happy with that as Liquid. LGD tried to smoke into you. You repelled them. They tried to chase further. You turn around, get 2 kills, and buyback forced. It's not the end of the world for LGD, of course. It was the Rubik buyback and not that of a core.
Here we go. That's how fast Xnova died. I don't even think that was a full second.
And the LGD from, the BKB from Somnus as well, being used in that. So that's a 10-second charge to only kill off the Shadow Demon.
You can see the way Team Liquid played it though. Like, okay, Kuro died, but Somnus went through that entire 10-second BKB, and like, what do you get from it? Like, how does LGD keep them in position? Spectre jumps in, like, are you cleaning off the backlines? Are you focusing down the Tinker? Tinker didn't even really feel like he had an influence in that fight.
No. When Ame came in, they had used their stuns and their initiation already. Ideally, what LGD's lineup wants to do is to be the initiators and just jump in and start the fight, and then you haunt, get vision, and play the fight according to your vision. But when it's Liquid with the high ground advantage, when it's Liquid with the Moonlight Shadow, it makes it a lot harder to use these spells correctly and find the targets you're looking for.
Here we go again.
Lane.
Avalanche toss, here's your BKB. There's the 9-second one down, but Mind Control, he may be the sacrifice. Kuro's going to give him a little bit of extra time with the disruption. He can't flick himself away from this, and Mind Control will fall. The purge, any kind of disruption, not able to do it. Now Stampede in, Chalice, they're looking towards Kuro. 2 of them together, they can't break free. Kuro, he definitely is the sacrifice. He can throw out at least a catcher. But then look towards mid as Weeha jumping after Ame. Rearmed, does he want to keep the pressure on? No, he doesn't. Just control the mid lane. He's down 2 heroes, and this is where Liquid got a lot of strength last time they played the Tinker on this main stage. They bought time. Even when a fight doesn't go their way, instantly Weeha's pressuring the other lanes.
And that's why the Spectre pick is so important, because are you actually buying time for a win condition in this game? Is this favoring you to play like this?
It kind of feels like it when you've got the Tiny and the Void together. Like, the volley into Chronosphere, you can still win those high ground fights.
The volley might be the X factor in this game, because if you look at these lineups from before the new Ags, I would say Dire going late game, they will be happy to do so against this team, but with all this new damage coming out from Tiny, it could be better for Liquid. I'm just a bit concerned that, yeah, sure, I mean, you're delaying the game, but you're also not taking any towers. You're not putting additional pressure on the map, because neither lineup has very good sieging whatsoever. Both teams have taken 2 towers only 24 minutes in. They can't really Roche, because both lineups are also pretty bad at that. So it's kind of just this farming game, and farming games historically are just so good for Spectre.
Yep.
Maybe Silver Edge can be a solution later. That could be something they can work around it with. But for now, I think LGD are pretty happy with their situation. So is Dota Plus, giving them 3-1, actually. Dota Plus loves Spectre.
Of course it would.
So,
but it doesn't know what we know as well. With this new combination that's just been wrecking the main stage and a little bit of the group stage of TI9. Charles is looking to try and fight, but that is not the target they want. 2.6k, they're actually going to stampede. They're not finding a target, however. All of Liquid's back. In fact, you've got Mind Control pushing in the top lane. Kuro is continuously de-warding the LGD primary jungle. And the Centaur Illusions are watching Roshan. That's it. No one else is close to any other objectives on the map.
And it's an even boundary and trade again.
And it feels like there's so much pressure on Team Liquid to hit that fantastic Chronosphere or always control the side lanes. It's
true. I think compared to other Void games we've seen from Liquid, there's a lot of pressure on Miracle in this game. I think just getting a good one-hero chrono is not going to cut it in this game. Even if you chrono the gyro or whatever, the response LGD have later, I think it's just too overpowering. Even if you kill one core with the chrono, if they have a buyback, they can run you down with Stampede and Haunt, and you end up not getting a favorable fight.
Do you even pop the Stampede during the Chronosphere once the Aghanim-Scepter? Because the Aghanim-Scepter is coming quickly. It's what's that, 2100 away from being completed on the Centaur?
You do that for Gyro. I don't know if you do it for anyone else. You might not even do it for Spectre, just because Spectre can buyback Haunt, and then you can run people down. It was one of the integral parts of OG's victory last year when they played their Spectre lineups. They just took advantage of Ana's ability to tank a lot of damage on his carry, and then if he does get killed, he can buy back and come back in. And you can't ignore that factor from the Spectre in fights. Spellsteal coming out.
He's got Time Walk again. That's a good initiation. And as we saw her escape from FY before.
Man, look how confident Chalice is. Maybe a bit too much here.
Disruption, catcher, the arrow is going to connect as well. Perfect stun. They're going to force arm him down. That's FY hanging in the neighborhood of Miracle. It's a double Chronosphere. Mind Control running with the Avalanche, but he's walked inside the Chronosphere. He's done himself up, and maybe they don't have the damage anymore. As Thomas is in the back lines, he'll end up killing off Kuro, the first casualty of this team fight. And the Chronosphere stolen. Of course it is. FY playing around Weeha. He caught the big man, and maybe with the Avalanche toss from Mind Control, Charles and Thomas in some trouble. Tinker gonna buy back into this fight. He knows he needs to do some more damage. Charles is still trying to go ham against Mind Control. Mind Control doesn't have the life for this. Maybe with a toss-up, he can push Chalice away. But where is this control? You bought back Weeha, but they can't stay on top of him. LGD are all getting out of here.
They only got Somnus for that Weeha buyback.
They have to take Roshan now. They're going straight in for it. Gyro is down for 50 seconds. Mind Control's going to regen on the Shrine with GH, but Miracle, he's starting this up.
Elder Titan is spawned. He's going to go scout it out. There is no way Liquid get this. They don't have the damage. When this Elder Titan Spirit starts countering them out,
they're giving it a shot. They have the 30-second window. Time Walk away. Miracle, he'll dodge the stomp. Arme's throwing out the dagger, and now hoofs on forward, a 4-star from GH trying to get Kuro away to safety. He's in close. Miracle trying to storm down with a time dilation, but Kuro's already gone down. LGD's arrived, but man, Miracle's done all the hard work for him. Now Roshan, he has to be contested by LGD.
That's really bad news for Liquid. They don't have chrono for this fight. Good arrow.
5 seconds on the arrow. It's going to maybe make LGD think twice. They need Tinker behind to put down martial machines inside the pit. They need some cover fire to dissuade LGD from being here. Mind Control, he'll go for the avalanche shot. He didn't have information of the Roshan. He thought it was probably a lot lower. Arrow, 5 seconds again over on Chalice. Mind Control, another quick toss. He's got to get out there. There's those martial machines for Roshan. Miracle's jump back in again. Roshan, he goes to the radiant. Miracle has the Aegis, the Immortal. Now trying to battle head-to-head with Thomas and BKB. It's such a low duration. Miracle keeps getting time lock after time lock. He is the master of time. And the arrow, another 5 seconds. They just keep on coming. Mind Control hits the Avalanche Centaur. The Stampede on 80 HP. He'll go up the hill and blinks towards the Shrine. LGD, they're disengaging, but they want more. Weeha, he's blinked the top of the Shrine. The chainsaws are going to be there. They're in range of the Sentry Wall. That's why they can see them inside the Moonlight Shadow FY. He tries to hit this entire team all by himself. Miracle has to stop the clock, but the Aegis will pop. So will Weeha's life. It's a side back from him. Gianna go down to FY. FY total gone. He is just dominating this game.
The presence of mind in that moment to steal Avalanche and catch 2 heroes, one of which was the Miracle Void going for the chrono on Mind Control. He went too far.
He just tried to push the lane out. He tried to create space. And LGD, they get a bonus in their gift bag.
From one insane play to the other, the Miracle Roche steal to begin with, jumping in with a BKB. He not only got the Aegis, he got the kill on Roche too. Then they keep chasing up, and FY with a huge defensive play. And you're going to see the start of it here. And the arrows from GH, if just one of these arrows miss, it's a totally different situation. But this is the opening for Miracle. Gets the kill, gets the Aegis. Does not have the Chrono yet, though. That's why Somnus will eventually get away from this and reset up to the Shrine. The 4-step from FY, buying the space into Stomp. That's the first arrow. Maybe if Miracle focused on the center a little bit earlier, they could have got Chalice here. He ends up resetting too. And Weehaw wants to go for that chase, doesn't find him. He rearms and blinks up. And that's the start of a disaster. Weehaw going greedy here, blinking into the Shrine. Sets up for a long fight where Liquid have to come in and help. And this Avalanche steal right here, huge. Just as the Chrono comes out. I mean, it's also nice that Miracle chronoed the Tinker for him. I'm not gonna blame. Not gonna complain about that, FY.
I'm gonna come back to real life right now as Kuro dead again. Armate looking to bounce around the map on the back of that Spectral Haunt. Maybe a little bit sad he only was able to pick up the SD. But you talk about that net worth increase on the Spectre. He's going to be a little happier moving towards that heart. Centaur is by far. Chalice was the one. He was total trash. He was thrown out. He was a rejected Centaur. He is now 16,300 worth of net worth in this Centaur. Stampede, Crimson and Pipe. It's the disengage, it's the sustain, it's what's allowing LGD to do what they're doing and allowing FY to just be ballsy as hell.
He might be the first trash of the main event that Liquid can take out. Actually struggling a lot in this game. And their chances, they're dwindling by the minute. The advantage is becoming way too overwhelming. How many Spectre games have we seen like this in the history of the International? When teams get this kind of a lead with Spectre, I don't even want to know what the win rate is. It's got to be absurd. So Liquid, they need to find some crazy Chronos. They need to get a Silver Edge probably to deal with him later on. Or an Aghanim Scepter on Shadow Demon would also be nice to get those breaks off. Perhaps the third Roshan, if it has that, when we get to that stage, if we get to that stage.
We have the Ags on Tiny though, so Liquid can focus on the simple combinations. The Faceless Void Chronosphere into the tree toss of Mind Control, and actually having Weehaw doing some damage. Like, obviously, we knew he was going to blink forward. If there was one thing we took from Weehaw's games yesterday, it was this brash confidence of youth that he just wanted to jump in there every single time. You push it, and the rest of Liquid come with him. The same kind of way that Anna does it for OG, but in that part of the fight, like, yeah, Miracle could not find the perfect Chrono.
Don't click Spectre yet. How much health do you think it has?
I'm going to go like 3.5. Just feeling that.
3,720 health
Close.
With the dispersion.
It's almost the price is right.
You can chrono this Spectre and have Tiny and Tinker do everything perfectly, and Ame still doesn't die. You need Soul Catcher. So Kuro has to be involved in these plays to kill off the Spec. I know I'm talking about the Spectre a lot, but I just feel like the hero, whenever it's in a game like this, it just deserves so much attention with how the games and generally play out. And even though he didn't have the perfect start, Ame's in a great spot right now. Worth highlighting too, Somnus went Dagger on Gyro. The idea here is you haunt, and the moment you see Tinker, he's going to jump straight on top of him with this Gyro and blow him up. Weehaw, until he has this BKB, which he can afford now, but then not have buyback, will just get blown up by Gyro. He's going to solo him if he gets vision. So plenty of problems to solve here for Liquid.
They have damage issues. It's able to penetrate the resistance of LGD. They have the inability to do full global. Xnova is actually just camping in the trees in the bottom lane. He's put down a Tinker, both a server and a Sentry Ward. There's no shenanigans. The BKB has arrived now for Weehaw. And here's the TP forward. Xnova, he knows Weehaw's here. It's the same type of movement that Weehaw's done time and time again on his Tinker. Up the trees, push the wave. And LGD smoked up, but they're not ready to go just yet. It feels like Xnova's not enough to work with the Spectre just to get that straight up kill.
They might have gone for it if we had enough BKB. But I think Xnova clicked Weehaw when he came in. He called the BKB out. If you haunt for that, Weeha's going to BKB TP out. Oh, maybe he's still hunting for him here.
They're looking for Tiny. He's tree tossing from the trees, but he blinks into the wave. Homing Missile chasing Mind Control, and maybe with a hook stop, and they stampede forward. Homing Missile will connect. And Tiny, well, FY stole Tree Volley. It's not the greatest thing to steal from Rubik.
He's trying. They didn't get him. Weehaw playing in there and getting away. But you can clearly see what the game plan is. Xnova, you're hunting Tinker. We go as a 3-man unit and hunt somebody else, and Spectre farm. You can connect with either of the plays that we find on the map. And Liquid's game plan is let's not fight. They are.
I think they might.
So far, they've just been avoiding moves for a couple of minutes now with Chrono ready. They just don't want to take these fights. They don't feel favored.
They see Centaur in the bottom lane. The arrow's going to fly just shy of Somnus, but the Chrono! Miracle! be a second too late.
Well, at least he didn't cast it.
They cannot afford to have such a huge ability go on cooldown. Even though like, it's a 2-minute cooldown, he's not going the Ags. It's a satanic style build for Miracle. But he's got a long way to jump with that plus 500 time walk cast range. They're able to get that initiation. The question is always though, can the rest of Liquid keep up with him? I don't think he'll actually need that long cast range in a bit because LGD, how long is it until they want to come high ground? I keep my eye on Roshan. He may respawn in about a minute.
Yeah, they're definitely not high grounding without an Aegis. And I think they might give it to Gyro, honestly. Even though Spectre is the centerpiece of the lineup toward the later portions of the game, having an Aegis on Gyro, Spectre can always buy back and haunt back in, and Gyro can then start sieging the base as well with the Aghanims coming up as his next item.
Yeah, how weird is it to actually see that coming up as like your, well, it's your third major item outside the blink of the drums.
Yeah, exactly. This feels like the first Gyro game we've seen at the main event where he does not go Ags just like first main item. Maybe you'll get a drum first, but then we've seen Ags pretty much every single game. But Somnus adapting to the game, prioritized getting the early BKB, feeling like that was going to be a timing for Liquid that he had to be able to get them across so they could get to the state in the game. It's been excellent choice. His BKB has actually been extremely important when you've looked at how these team fights have gone. He would not have done the same with an Ags.
The time is about to come up on Roshan, and it's 144.
5.2k health.
My lord.
5.2k health, Pipe Magic Resistance, Crimson Guard Physical Reduction.
And then he's going to go Shiva on top of that, and he's already cut himself, what was that, 8+15 armor?
Well, the good news is...
He's in range of blast.
Soul Capture deals 2,000 damage now on him.
That's terrific, and maybe if you can kill him, you can even get yourself an illusion of him, and he can fight against you.
Yep.
That was the one thing. Kuro, even though he's like he's been ripped on levels. He's the lowest level of the field. Still's like, nope, I'm going to get an illusion out of this. I'm going to put a catcher down. We're going to find kills. Moonlight Shadow once again. Miracle just wants to initiate. They have a great observer and sentry down. They see Somnus. They see a huge target as well. Oh, no, they see nothing anymore. They'll have to go towards the top lane. Great mana style, time dilation, arm main, Stampede will get him away. And the rest of LGD, they're thinking if they want to fight. The arrow was thrown out by GH for a little bit of a quick scout, and they still know they're in the trees. But look at this presence from LG. They understand they need to get the vision. Here we go. Miracle. He jumps in. Homing missile's going to come his way. He's going to BKB instantly. FY. Going to jump himself away as quick as he possibly can with a time walk stolen. He just moves away from the BKB Miracle. And the hostile catching Kuro on the back line with the spectral haunt. Kuro instantly explodes. Mind Control GH want to get the hell out of here. Miracle is now the time to actually Chronosphere. The homing missiles are coming in. They're surrounded on all sides, trying to TP away to safety. Tiny's weighing this one out. Inside the pocket ball, the Starfall will come down. Mind Control cancels on the TP because FY gets in range for the telekinesis grab. They've already taken GH. Mind Control will do as much damage as he can before death. But LGD, they were the ones meant to be initiated on that fight. But Liquid, they never saw the opportunity, and they never wanted to take it.
They found the worst possible target. They found an Elder Titan completely on his own. They can't.
Oh, Somnus! He's gonna go down! Miracle trying to Chrono to save his life. Somnus protected by the BKB. Miracle needs lock, and he'll bring down Somnus. A huge streak to end.
100 gold.
He's rich. He's glorious.
Is top net worth? No.
He at least buys the INTERCEPTOR so he doesn't lose any money, but LGD are taking Roshan. What have you even got, team? They can't contest this. Murano might be able to TP out to try and throw an arrow, but it's already too late. Roshan, 1,500, now 0. It's all LGD and FY! He jumps up, he goes towards GH. Sentry Wolf's vision, they have down GH, he's gonna go down for a minute. Miracle, he jumped more towards the front line too. He's looking for a kill of his own, but what's he got? FY! He actually just turns them around. Miracle triggers the strike. BKB TP's away to safety. Kuro, he does not want to die again. 8 is enough for the moment, but I think it might be a 9. He's moving back towards the base. Mind Control needs to create a little bit of extra space as LGD think about coming up. Chalice, he won't just think about it. He'll do it now with the volley. Chalice, we'll see how much he can take or take. A hell of a lot. Sleep actually put him down. There was no volley. A double hookster. A double edge. And they'll just keep going ham underneath the tier 3s towards the tier 4s. If they kill the Void, he'll have to fight back. If they want to defend this top lane of Brax, Liquid, they're on the burning claim too.
Looks like Liquid are just going to concede these barracks. This void buyback is way too important. It's more important than the barracks. There's no mid lane for them to take yet because the tier 2 is still there.
They're trying.
So LGD will back.
Okay. Avalanche, can they toss him back over? There's already a pickup. FY's got the range, he's got the arrow, and mind control connected on all fronts. And when the hostile GS jumps in a little too deep, the laser couldn't protect him. Chalice finds that kill. 5.3k HP on this Centaur. It's that point when cheese actually isn't a good thing to have on a Centaur because it doesn't do enough.
It's still better on him than the Spectre because of the Aegis, but he might pass over the cheese to Somnus. It's a possible play to swap that over instead of the drum. They're going to do exactly that.
And Team Liquid are giving everything they've got, but LGD is just really starting to work for them. Well, I say really starting to. It's been working for a while for them. The golden experience graph ever since the 20-minute mark, it was so close. And everything is LGD's way. Chalice, his team is so far away from him. FY's back at the tier 2 tower. And Chalice, I guess, fine.
Hey, you want an arrow? Here's an arrow for Somnus. Chalice is going to dodge it, so it hits the gyro in the back. But yeah, Liquid, you've got to flip your high ground now. I think any fight taken outside of base is inherently unfavorable right now. There's Aegis and cheese, there's buybacks.
Spectre goes for the bottom lane. Kuro is getting off a copy. Toss under the tier 4 towers. But it's Chalice. He's in so deep. The Stampede being used offensively. The lasers and rockets. Any kind of spam they can get from range. Can they get another pickup? Mind control tosses off cooldown right now. The arrow flies forward. It won't connect on anybody. They're all a little bit too short. As the high ground defense, kind of difficult for mind control. There's not a lot of trees to use inside your base unless you're playing on the side lanes.
Yep. It's very, very true. And that is problematic. Any fight around the mid lane makes tree volley almost impossible for him to use inside the base. Top, bottom, there's more options because you have the tree line in the bottom of the map. Just, I want to point out too how LGD are playing the map. They're playing this really aggressive 4-man bottom. The Centaur was semi-diving mid and got kind of caught when he got tossed, and then he still gets out with Stampede. The whole time, Somnus is farming jungle. They know they have this complete grip on the map. They're just maximizing profits.
That's a good interest rate. LGD taking forever. Like, okay, Ame is, come on, man. Like, he needs a little bit of extra help here. It's only a minute and a half to bring down a shrine. Tink is pushing out the lanes in the meantime. Trying to find that burst damage with refreshed Aegon. No, we are careful, careful, careful. He's got Blink available. He's going to go for, okay. A Blink and TP away to safety. Ame feeling his air spectral daggers through the trees. He's already gone for the negative 10-second cooldown timer on that, so he's totally fine. Hit the 25 with a +6 dispersion.
Arrow.
Yep, able to connect, but then again,
stolen it.
Chalice jumps himself forward. The defensive disruption actually going to dodge all the abilities and the Stomp Sleep, allowing Miracle just to time walk himself away. And they really, Chalice is like, please, please, hit me. I want it. The arrow, a little bit too late. The current speed does come down, combining with a volley. Mind control from inside the tree line. They get through the Centaur. That's one upside for them. And tossing back the Spectre under the tier 3 towers with another avalanche. They keep the control over on Ame. X-Nova wants to put them to sleep and create a little bit more space.
Arrow.
Yeah, they get another one.
This out.
Ame's waiting without the Aegis. He actually gets his regeneration burn off as well, but the hand, the flag cannon, gyrocopter, hits Kuro down hard, put him on the time dilation with the laser. Someone's coming to attack. The Dagon and Liquid are doing it. They're breaking through the heroes. Rubik as well. You can Dagon yourself, Tinker, but now with the tree toss, one more flying out. FY, 49 HP is getting away. The arrow's too far off too. The shadow poison. Will that clip him? It does, but he's got 100 HP. Got a low sword buff and a glimmer cape as well. They're trying to find him. FY playing up his own vision. Weehar's here, but he sees nothing. Now he'll see the Rubik. They got him down. And Team Liquid, they fight back for the first time in 20 minutes to their advantage against LGD.
That was an incredible hold. The way they started off on the Centaur, Chalice walks in. Soul Catcher is the reason they can still win this game. It really feels like it. They need to Soul Catcher the Centaur and just take him down. During the capture, they get the chrono off, they get the kill. It's going to force out a 5x from FY.
Liquid, how much do you really want to take here? Tinker's taking care of your side lanes. There's no Spectral Horn for 32 seconds. Arme can TP back if he needs to. For the moment, he's waiting for the 45-minute boundary race. He doesn't even want to be here for this. They're trying to get the cash in. Centaur's 8 seconds away from buyback. They at least get the fortification, Liquid, but they won't get much more. But they get space. A thing that Tinker definitely wants, but you've still got that ticking time bomb of Spectre Arme. He's got Nullifier completed as well, so there's an instant control if LGD fight on their terms.
If Liquid win this game, it will be the first time ever on the main stage of TI that 100% game has been swung. Dota Plus gave LGD 100% chance to win. It's obviously rounded up, but...
They say 99.999 recurring, of course.
This is a game where you have to understand just how far Liquid are behind and how exactly things need to pan out for them to be able to win fights. And that one defense was the start of what could be one of the greatest comebacks of all time if they managed to do it.
Oh, Sen, don't you jinx it. Don't you jinx it on that one. We'd love to see games of that type of quality, but LGD, they're starting to itemize very strongly. Charles is looking towards a BKB. He feels like he needs a little bit more than just the Shiva's Guard. He's switched up his item build. The Courier will bring it out to him, more than likely. A Bloodthorn build. Now the new build as well from Somnus. He went for the Basher. He'll have to switch out his phase boots in order to get this.
I like the switch up from Chalice. He changed away from Shiva's Guard. He was considering Shiva, but now he's going BKB. Oh, he's now switching to AC. I don't know how much I like that one. Because I feel like they need a solution to the Soul Catch. They have a Lotus Orb on FY. What else do they have? Is that the only Dispel they have? I mean, it's enough if he's in range, right? If he's there to save the Centaur, he should be okay.
But it's going to be difficult. And I'm also wondering how LGD continue to do damage. You're talking about, like, how, well, crap a lot of the building damage is. You're getting an INTERCEPTOR build coming in for Weeha. This is going to bounce. And LGD, they're going to have a hard time actually inflicting damage in the fight. Arrow will fly in. Will hit onto the illusion of the gyrocopter, but Roshan is up. It's a refresher shard inside of this Roshan. No Aghanims upgrade. But in this game, it feels like refresher shard is just the bread and butter for every team.
Yeah, it's huge. 2 Chronos, or 2 Stampedes, or 2 Haunts. Whichever one you prefer. It's a really big grab for either team.
Team Liquid have the Observer and Sentry up on the hill. They're going to smoke up. They see Somnus. They'd love to go on him. Chance is right behind him. Here's your Avalanche toss, but then Somnus moves away. Chance! He also has the backline. He's almost killed Kuro. In fact, he has done so. Mind control so low as well. Somnus down the Chronosphere and caught the Gyrocopter, but Miracle. He has to kill him in here. Arrow's flying in with the ETs, but a Miracle can't finish the job. He can't get the damage out. Buyback's already come in from Tiny. The Moonlight Shadow. They're trying to escape. GH needs the Sentry Ward. FY's wanting to stick around with him while the rest of LGD run forward. They're chasing Miracle. The homing missile is after him. GH has finally gone down to FY. Weeha's already pushing out the lane. He doesn't want anything to do with this. But with these deaths, do you feel confident enough now, LGD, to go in for Roshan?
I think you do. You have the Manta already again on Ame. It's the primary way of killing Roche. There's even an Arcane Rune for him, so the cooldown is super short. He's going to use it now and get to work. And you were talking about damage bombs for LGD. There's a couple of solutions for them. Ame's getting close to a Bloodthorn. Somnus. Somnus buying this Basher is actually pretty genius for 2 reasons. First of all, obviously, you know, if he gets on top of someone and can bash, it can be the difference between a kill and a death. But it's also stunning Miracle while he's chronoed because of the side gunner. I think he got 1 Basher proc in that last Chronosphere. And, you know, it's 1.5 seconds.
Oh, Miracle, Miracle. What are you doing here? Time walk away. As quick as he possibly can, but Somnus has a blink dagger, and now Miracle. BKB versus BKB. No Chronosphere available for either side. Miracle will just time walk off the damage, but he's TV out. He got FY! He catches him, and Miracle has got another time walk available, but the stun's the bash from Somnus is able to connect. Miracle's down. He can reset the count with the buyback. Challenge is already at the tier 3 towers, but he's kind of by himself. A very, very deep in. Catcher in person. Weeha needs a little bit more damage to bring him down. Arrow's flying well off target. Charles is dropping low. Remember, he's got the Aegis Immortal. He just wants to claim this tier 3 tower by himself. He's consumed the Ag and Interceptor to free up the space. Arme will complete by killing off the tower. Refresher Shard, Nullifier, Spectral Horn, everything's going to be up for Arme in just a second.
And this time, I don't think Miracle can hold the buyback.
Goes for the disruption. One charge trying to give him a little bit more time. The arrow is going to be soaked up by the illusion. Kuro is dead. No buyback available for him. The melee ranks are taken. Arme going out near the bottom. Weehao wants to stay on it, but do they have enough? Mind control blinks off cooldown in just a second. He throws out the volley, but the spectral dagger, the push is just too fast away. Here comes Charles once again. Hey, would you mind giving me a charge? They gave him one.
And Liquid looks like they held, but it cost a void buyback.
Both top as well as middle are crippled for the moment.
And there's 4 bounties going the way of LGD, and they still have Aegis and Refresher Shard. The cheese is on Rubik. Yeah.
Hey, he needs the mana right now, it seems. Still building into the site.
And this is not the ideal hero for them to have the Aegis on the Centaur. You'd probably rather have it on the Gyro, but it also at the same time means that Chalice can siege. If he has stacks on Retaliate, he can run in and hit this tower, and it's going to force Liquid to respond. But you kind of don't want to go on him, but you have to. He just hits too hard with 13 stacks of Retaliate.
Mind Control needs these trees to respawn. He doesn't have anything to work with. The arrow flies forward. Chalice illusions and herself to push in the top lane. Spectral Haunt will get it to the front lines no matter what. So this is just side lane pressure being applied against Team Liquid. Chalice with the Aegis, tossed a long way in. I love the leap, getting him deep underneath the tier 4 towers. They're trying to break free him, and maybe they have enough with the volley as well. Mind Control, here he's got trees to work with. They break the Aegis Immortal. Arme's in very deep, also into the tier 4 towers. All 3 homing missiles to connect on Faceless Void. Fortifications buying time for Team Liquid. Even the creep wave is standing its ground. Chronosphere, you can see Miracle. He's trying to get closer. They have sentry wards down, however. They see him, and he Chronos, the backline, the gyrocopter dying quickly. Special disruption. Are you kidding me? FY is just creating so much space to allow Scotland to rip into Team Liquid. 2 on the big cards down the solid Chrono. Why not? FY. That's the game. Everyone's going down, and no one's getting up from this. LGD, they have just punched themselves. Game 1 win against Team Liquid. They'll do it the old-fashioned way. Liquid are making them work for it. And there it is, GG. LGD in 52 minutes are able to fight up against Liquid.
Dude, that play's so fucking good. So good.
Oh.
What a crazy game.
If that disruption didn't hit, Sonos was dead. They wouldn't have had the damage. We would have kept going.
I'm sure Paul is feeling great right now. He's a big FY fan, as he has said on the panel, and this was an outstanding performance. I mean, there's just, you could make a highlight reel from his plays in this game alone.
Yeah.
He had so many crucial moments with the perfect steals, the catches on the lifts, and in this last fight, very clearly they bait the chrono. The communication in the team is already there. Somnus, you can go bait, I have disruption, and Liquid fall for it. I don't think they realized that the disruption was stolen by FY. So he chronos, instant disruption, instant steal the chrono, and kind of style points on the last chrono in the Mirana. Didn't even need it, but...
And you said SD was good. SD was great, but FY, he was every single hero on this map, and he helps push LGD to a series lead 1-0.
Great start for the hometown team here. PSG LGD with the lead. We're going to get some thoughts from our panel in just a moment. But first of all, Brian, you've got something for us?
Yeah, Paul. I want to talk about perseverance in Dota. And we're going to be highlighting Chalice. This is before the talk even hits 0, that there's going to be this 4-on-4 engagement. And Centaur is going to get disrupted into an arrow, and he's going to feed First Blood. And you may say that might get him a little bit down. And we're going to look just a minute later into this game. You're going to pause, and we're going to see Kuroki and GH. Set up in the trees on one side is Kuroki and GH on the other. And they're going to patiently wait until Chalice walks into vision. And when he does so, he's going to die a second time before the lane creeps have even met to the Shadow Demon Mirana arrow combo. And the major thing we want to highlight from this is this man ends up being the highest net worth for the rest of the game, and it ends up being a crucial part for LGD to be able to finish this game off. In this fight, you're going to see him initiate, and he's going to have the presence of mind to see this arrow coming from the side here and take a last-minute sidestep down and be able to dodge the arrow and be able to barely live after taking out the Shadow Demon, getting Tiny Toss comboed. And this is like the crucial part of the game where if he dies there, he's not going to have nearly as much impact as he's going to have the rest of the game. And I think him being able to frontline for the rest of the team, set up all these Spectre haunts, being able to set up the gyro, do all the damage that he needed to do. And I just love that when you have that bad of a start in this crucial of a game that you're able to have that much impact.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Yeah, 2000 IQ analysis there as well. Thank you, Brian. Gents, great performance by PSG. And as Brian pointed out, some little plays in there that were silky smooth.
Yeah, they were. I mean, he brought it up. FY had an amazing game. Chalice, though, had the best game in even middle lane, right? I think the early game, the Gyrocopter got a solo kill on Weehaw, which is just crazy for him.
Our MVP, as voted for by you actually at home in client. This is voting on. There were 19,000 votes alone for FY in this game. I think there might be something to do with popularity here.
Oh, I mean,
he made the big plays. No, Paul. I mean, popularity, yes, but big plays, he was bigger than anyone in that game.
See, I'm with you, gods. We're at the small end of the thing. Those two don't know anything. What they're doing.
There's a story about that. There's, you know how you said LGD is like already won TI. They're the preordained TI winners. FY, there was a joke about him for MDL last season. He was the preordained MVP, and he actually didn't get that MVP.
Right.
And when he was asked about it, he said, "It's no big deal. The trophy was too small anyway, right?" But here, right, he is making a strong performance that he could be the TI MVP while simultaneously claim the Aegis. But first, they have to be able to take down Liquid a second time, and that's tough.
Yeah, let's not get carried away, because that was just for one game. That wasn't, for the whole of the event just yet. Let's check in with Casey and Slacks after an exciting game number one.
Absolutely, it was a fantastic game number one, Red Eye. We are here in the crowd. It's packed up here next to the screens, and I got some people to talk to us. Sir, how you liking everything so far after game one?
Yeah, I think LGD got quite lucky there. They were definitely struggling for the majority of the game, so hopefully Liquid will bring it back,
FY God. Oh, FY God, FY God. FY God, huh?
Disruption and then the chrono at the end.
Beautiful.
And he's very handsome.
Very handsome indeed. What's the atmosphere like in the arena right now for those at home?
Oh, it's amazing. The crowd's awesome. Woo! No. RG, woo!
OG!
The 1% here, RG, woo!
OG, sir?
LGD!
LGD! All right, I'll pass it over here.
We got some more fans over here. I heard a lot of LGD, but what is this? I need you to actually say it.
Sir!
Gotta do that in the grand finals, of course. I am loving the pride here.
Hi, it's been a great game, and I like everybody here.
Yeah?
I just love everybody.
Yes?
I hope Chinese team wins, but we only got LGD here, but I love OG.
You love OG?
I love Trav.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, friends.
Say again.
OG. I'm Liquid.
So, let's see here. You seem to like the microphone. I'm going to hand this to you. Why don't you interview
Casey, don't do Casey.
Yeah,
Rule 4, never give your microphone away.
Been playing Dota.
No. What is this?
He's going to take over the whole show.
Away?
He's going to millions of people right now. Guys, chill. Rule 4.
We still got a lot of games left, right, Red Eye?
Absolutely. We still have plenty of games left.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to Casey and Slacks. Enjoying themselves as ever out in the main floor. And it was, I've said this before, it was loud on day one. My goodness, halfway through. They killed Miracle halfway through that game. This place erupted. It's ear-piercingly loud.
Yeah, I was sitting, we were all just pretty much.
Because they all know, because I've spoken to them, they all go, we can hear them.
Yeah,
we've got ear-proof sound and then soundproof booth, but we can still, right? They can still feel the crowd through the window. So, yeah, a lot of stuff for Liquid to be talking about for game number two. I don't know what you felt about the draft and whether it went slightly askew there for Liquid. And maybe they got caught out a little bit by LGD or not. But
you know, I just think that LGD had like really good ideas about what they wanted to be able to do. I particularly like Gyrocopter versus Faceless Void. It's pretty funny seeing this hero late game nowadays. It's like he's got his own automated Chronosphere defense system with the Satanic as well as Basher. Definitely made things difficult, but the individual plays on LGD is what really made this lineup click. Because you can talk about synergy between ET and Centaur and, you know, being able to have this Gyrocopter versus the Faceless Void, the Spectre to counterpick the Tinker, but at the end of the day, LGD's individual plays really shone through in this first game.
Yeah, and again, we highlighted at the start of the game, Grant, about how little these two cores die. Arme's the least amount of deaths at TI. Somnus is the third least amount of deaths. Protected so well by the rest of the team.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, you look at the itemization as well, like the Centaur goes Crimson Guard Pipe, you're already a Spectre, right? You have Fade Bolt as well. The damage mitigation on that team is so good. They pop a Chrono, Centaur with the Aghanims. See you later.
Yeah. People want to talk about percentage-based damage and like, oh man, this Soul Catcher is going to be so effective, but the solution apparently is just build more HP.
Yeah, it went off the chart. Well, I was like, is that 5k or 6k? I don't know. I've lost count of how much health is on that CW right now. But entertaining game. What do you expect for game 2, Gods? More the same?
It's going to be similar. I think there are some key heroes. Liquid's opening that Tiny Void, very scary, and something. Even though PSG LGD beat it, I think you're still worried about that combo going to game 2. I'm just imagining, you know, if Liquid last ban Spectre, I don't think LGD's draft would have come together as well as it did.
Really?
Yeah. I think Liquid had a better draft up until that 10th pick. But that's the beauty of being second pick. And we've seen a lot of the teams really prefer first pick in these games because there are these certain heroes that can win you the game. But last pick of the draft there really came up big.
Yeah. Performances in Liquid side, we talked about how good LGD were. Miracle, I mean, could he have done any more?
That solo kill bottom, when Chalice solo killed him bottom, that was honestly very, very game-changing because they want to play fast. Like this Tinker, sure, you want to sit back and get farm, but he can help you get kills. Once he died, Chalice came top on the net worth, and this Void didn't have anywhere to go for like the next 3 to 4 minutes because of it.
And once that Centaur gets big enough, the Tinker, like the threat of the Tinker becomes less and less, and that means the Centaur is able to take over more of the map as a result, and it just really hems all of the Tinker's ideas of how to be able to play Dota. It just keeps him locked in a smaller space.
Support-wise, what about the Liquid supports?
I thought GH played pretty well. He went for the 4-step first. We're seeing more and more. He was where he needed to be with all the arrows and whatnot, but I think you just need more defensive supports. I know you had that Shadow Demon, but the Mirana doesn't really provide anything if you're on the back foot.
Yeah, they're kind of just two heroes that you can't really say too much about because they did their job. I don't think Liquid supports underperformed, but they weren't on heroes that could make the big plays and change the game, which FY was.
Yeah,
even X-Nova.
Yep.
His ET, like the fight where the Tinker bought back around the Roshan pit, he hit a predictive stomp where Void was going to time walk into. Really sick play. That won them that fight. So
you have the Roche control as well with Elder Titan. That's the thing. You could just completely change the game on those two heroes where Mirana and Shadow Demon, they aren't game changers. They're just very good heroes.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Demon, ET, most popular two heroes at this event. Did that surprise you?
That those are the most popular?
Yeah. Did you have him in your fantasy?
No, I had Grimstroke.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grim picked. I went with Elk.
He's still top 5 Grimstroke, you know.
Yeah.
But he's
I went
not
with Elk thinking it would be really, but actually just got banned a whole ton. So it's like 132 bans now, which has been insane. So.
Yeah, Shadow Demon was definitely going up before TI, so it's not terribly surprising to see him there. I personally had Earthshaker because Earthshaker's always just a classic TI hero because of what he provides for teamfight-wise, but these other supports have been higher value. ET especially has been in a similar position. The fact that he's able to take the 5 role really defines this hero, right? He is still a game-changing support in so many ways, whether it's through like little ways you don't see off of his aura or the big Earth Splitter that comes into play, but then he's also able to win lanes for you as well. And doing that as a 5 position, I think there's kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, he's good value as a 5. Wasn't necessarily good value as a 4, was he?
Yeah, this is that's been kind of the story of Dota for so many times, is trying to get the same effect out of a hero while simultaneously lowering his position in the net worth chart, right? We've seen so many 3s turn to 4s, 4s turn to 5s. This is just the way that the greedy system of Dota goes, and especially with games going later and later, those kind of value picks, you're going to feel good about yourselves in the draft, and I'm sure LGD would love to pick up the ET again.
Absolutely. It's a bit like Magic Hero. It's a 6.
Yeah, that's, I guess.
No good?
There's not 6 people in a team, Paul.
It's no need to be like that, Cap. You can, be nice. Change.
You play great Jakiro, Paul.
Thanks, buddy. See, I was waiting for it. There it is. Look, freeze frame that one for him. Seems good. Thanks, Pudge. Cap. I'm getting you mixed up now as well. Not too long until these guys come back out for game 2. What are the coaches talking about with their teams, do you think?
PSG LGD, don't get ahead of ourselves. Series isn't over. It's best of 3.
You think it's a mental chat now? It's not about the game?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep them calm. They walk out, they hear the crowd because they can kind of tune them out when they're in the booth, but they're going to walk out. The same thing happened against OG. So they need to not get too far ahead of themselves. Focusing on game 2 now. And for Liquid,
yeah.
They can easily do it.
First game dropped in 10.
Yeah, I would love to be able to hear what Kuro is telling the team. GH said their journey here has been a series of conversations, and that has been so much of Liquid, right? Is Kuro leading and talking to his team, and them trying to be able to figure out what they did right in a losing game and what they did wrong in a winning game, and being able to just always improve. And this is going to be their first real test, I guess, in many ways, since the playoffs started, their first loss. But I am very convinced that Kuro will be able to buck the team up and help them bounce back.
Yeah, fight against the crowd a little bit as well, Grant.
Yeah, it is, and this is the only downtime you have, right? Because once you walk back onto the stage, you're going to get all the butterflies again. You get everything. This is your chance. As you said, Kuro gives you it. Just calm down. Think about what happened in a clear mind, and once you get out on the stage, it's going to all go away again, possibly.
It's funny, actually. I always think maybe it's playing sometimes.
Exactly.
Rather stay in the booth, maybe. And you see the managers keeping players on the pitch sometimes. I just wonder whether one of these teams one day is just going to stay in the booth. Be like, right, we're not having a break. We're going to stay here until we figure out how it all went wrong. Teams are back out into the arena. PSG LGD, 1 to the good against their rivals for a place in the grand final. They've been there before. The TI7 champions, Team Liquid. It's a fascinating battle between two giants of the Dota 2 world. All the nerves come back, all the butterflies come back as we'll now wait for these two to settle themselves down. And first up, you know what? We know how Liquid got here, but what were they thinking they would do heading in to the International 2019?
Kuro, GH, welcome. So we mentioned TI8. We all made a huge story out of the narrative that of all the teams we had seen come back as TI champs, this felt like the first real chance of seeing a repeat winner 2 years in a row. Did you feel the pressure of that narrative, or did you use that to fuel you?
Certainly there was like some sort of pressure, but I don't think we let it really get to us. It's more like the TI itself is full of pressure, more than anything else.
And it's constantly changing. It's not the kind of game where you win TI and now a year later, 2 years later, you know for sure you're still the best. Like you have to really actively work at it because it's constantly
Dota is
evolving.
a kind of game, it's impossible to just stay on the top for a long time without like putting your soul into it. And even if you put your soul into it, doesn't matter. Like someone just overtakes you anyway.
And how is Kuro as a leader? How would you describe him as a leader when that kind of thing happens, trying to keep everybody focused on rolling with the punches?
I mean, it's easy for me to say because I know most of what happens behind the scenes usually. It's hard for the public to understand what Kuro's true job is. It's 90% outside the game that nobody actually sees. So I feel like his true role is not in-game related as much as outside the game, even though he offers an extreme amount of information.
He basically said I'm a shit player, but you know.
I didn't want to say it, but
Yeah, how do you separate that? Because I know that you have to make decisions that are business related about friends and teammates. And you know, the most common time for teams to make changes sometimes is right after a TI. You made no roster changes, but then in June, you parted ways with Matumba Man. That had to have been really difficult because you've been playing together as the same players for so long. So I know that that wasn't a decision that you made lightly.
No, it was, I mean, I was basically depressed for like 4 weeks afterwards. It sounds silly because I made the decision, but at the end of the day, being captain, leader, and whatever of this team, I have so much responsibility. Like they're all trusting me after all to make the right decisions. So getting Weeha and replacing Matu with Weeha is not just like exchanging like a player for a better player. That's not what happened. It's more like Matu was like a victim of these events. Like I just needed to change something right now. That's how I felt.
And how was that as a player for you, GH?
I mean, we all felt some kind of complacency in the team. It felt like everyone was just okay with not being the best. We had some feelings of, okay, we didn't win this one, but we were trying our best to win the next one.
Yeah, and he's not talking about Matu. He's talking about
Not
the
at
whole
all.
team.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it felt the build-up was there, but we